Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm with the Consortium, and this is another in our series of Career Journeys. And today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Austin Davis. He is the state representative in the 35th Legislative District here in Pennsylvania, and he represents folks who live in Clairton, Duquesne, Lincoln, McKeesport, Munhall, South Versailles, West Mifflin, Whitaker, and White Oak. Austin, could you tell us a little bit about what a state legislator does?
Well, first, thank you, Jackie, for having me, and hello to everyone who's watching. A state legislator basically represents roughly 62,000 people in a legislative district in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. So I go to Harrisburg almost every week and represent the interests of the people that live in my district on everything from school funding to consumer affairs issues that protect consumers from, say, companies or utility companies, to dealing with every aspect of our government, basically, as it relates to state government. I sit on the Appropriations Committee, which has the jurisdiction over our state budget. So everything from how we fund schools, how we fund infrastructure projects, to how we build affordable housing and revitalize main streets is under the purview of that committee. I also serve on the Insurance Committee, which deals with any type of insurance that you can think of: auto insurance, health insurance. And I also am on the Consumer Affairs Committee, which regulates everything from electric, gas, water, telecommunications, internet. So it's my job to take the concerns and the interests of the people in the Mon Valley that I represent and to be their voice in the state capitol, fighting for them. That is really one aspect of what I do. The other is the work that I do in our communities and in our neighborhoods. I have 3 district offices spread out across my district, and I serve as a resource for the residents that live here who may need help really with any government issue, mostly state, but we often get times called on to help with city and county issues, and I work with a lot of our local leaders here at the city level and the county level to drive progress in our local communities, whether it's revitalization efforts, infrastructure efforts, all of those things. I kind of help coordinate with the local elected officials. And in addition to all that, I'm very visible and active in our communities, going to community events. My staff is really makes a point to be active and engaged in the community. So we really just try to be a resource for the people that live in our district, and that enables us to be a strong voice for them in the state capitol.
So what is it that you like about your job, Austin?
I really enjoy helping people solve difficult problems. So whether that is helping somebody receive unemployment compensation benefits, or whether that's helping a community revitalize their main street by delivering government resources, really helping improve people's lives. I mean, that's what it's about. Any government leader always strives to make the lives better of the constituents they represent. I'm not going to say that, we can always change the world for everybody, but usually we can make a difference in some small way, whether that's, helping you navigate the red tape that is government bureaucracy, or advocating for something that people in our communities are passionate about.
You knew from a very early age that this was the direction that you wanted your career to go, that you had a passion for working in government. Could you talk a little bit about how you discovered that passion and what you did, even while you were still in high school, and then after you graduated, that led you onto this path of working as a state legislator?
I always liked the process. As a young person, I was just interested in the process of government and how they conducted their meetings and how the mechanics worked of it. So that, I think, was the initial thing that got me interested. But in high school, I founded and worked on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council in the city of McKeesport when Senator Jim Brewster was the mayor. and really exposed me to government up close and personal. And I realized that government and public service can be a force for good, and for to have a significant impact in your community. So if you wanted to make a difference, being an elected official really gave you a front row seat to make the changes that you wanted to see possible. That's really what grew my passion for public service, and just the interest of wanting to help people. Growing up in McKeesport, my parents and grandparents used to tell all these stories about how great McKeesport was, back in the day when they were growing up, and it really was a very different reality for me growing up. When I was growing up, McKeesport was always a city that was struggling to rebound from the collapse of the steel industry. So our experiences were very different. But I wanted to make a difference in this community because it had given me so much. And I felt like if I had gone to college, been successful, and then moved away, it really would have been a disservice to the people who really helped make me the person that I am today. So in high school, I really just got involved in student government. I got involved in the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council at the city. I was involved in a number of other clubs, but really just got involved in my neighborhood and started to try to make a difference. I didn't always want to necessarily be an elected official. I worked as an advisor to County Executive Rich Fitzgerald for 6 years, and I really enjoyed being behind the scenes and driving policy from that position. But you never know where life's going to take you, and but I always knew I wanted a career in public service, just because of the ability to give back and make direct changes in our communities.
If I was a young person wanting to pursue a career in government, either as an elected official or, like you said, behind the scenes, what would you recommend that I do while I'm still in high school that might prepare me to do that?
I would encourage you to start small. Just get involved in your neighborhood, whether it's a local organization, a community development organization, or just, a loose group of volunteers who want to do a neighborhood cleanup. Those types of projects and things are integral to getting involved in public service. I'll say there's no magic behind it to become an elected official, right? The real magic is that you have a deep connection to the community that you want to serve, and the people there, and the issues that are important to them. So the more time you spend volunteering in your neighborhood and getting to know your neighbors and the people that live around you, the more you'll understand those issues, and the more you'll be able to effectively advocate for the changes that collectively you all want to see. That is probably the best piece of advice I could give. There are multiple career paths you can take to being an elected official. In the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, there's everything from former mechanics to small business owners to lawyers to real estate agents to even doctors. So there's not really a hard and fast way to get involved in government and public service. You could take multiple paths. But I think the beauty of government and public service is that everyone has something to offer and a unique perspective that they could bring to the table that would make government better.
So what might surprise somebody about the job that you do, something that maybe they don't know state legislators do that they hadn't thought of before?
I think the biggest thing that would surprise people is the amount of time that state legislators and elected officials have to spend raising money for elections. That is probably the most under thought of thing when people are thinking about elected office and running for office and holding these positions. Unfortunately, in this country, it costs a lot of money to run for office. It requires a lot of resources. And if you're like me and from a working class family and can't afford to self-fund your own campaign, you have to rely on small contributions from your neighbors, from organizations to really keep your effort going. And it takes a lot of time and effort. It's something that I believe we should change the law to correct, because I think as elected officials, we should be spending a majority of our time serving our constituents and not necessarily raising money to run for re-election. But unfortunately, it's a necessary evil as the way the system's set up right now.
Thank you so much for talking with me today and for sharing your story with our students and teachers across the region. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!